life to 0.5 million years ago. How it felt to wake up a lone survivor of your tribe that vanished overnight. If you're curious about what life felt like at the very beginning, subscribe. And let's go back together. You wake up before the sun, just like always. The air is still, cold, the kind of cold that clings to your bones, even under thick fur. You blink slowly, your body stiff from the hard ground, your ears filled with the soft crackle of cooling embers. Near your feet, the fire burned low in the night, but it didn't go out. You sit up, stretch, rub your shoulders. The others are still asleep. You turn your head to where your brother usually sleeps. His fur blanket is there, but he's not. You frown. Maybe he went to relieve himself or check the traps early. That wouldn't be strange. You check the next bed. Empty. Another. And another. You stand now. The firelight barely touches the cave walls. Shadows shift around you. You step out into the open, calling softly. No coughs. No babies crying. No mothers stirring. You walk toward the sleeping circle. Your eyes scan each spot where bodies should be. They're gone. Every one of them. No blankets disturbed. No prints in the dirt. Not even a scuff. It's like they got up and floated away. Your heartbeat picks up. You whisper your sister's name. Nothing. You call louder. Louder still. Only the wind replies, pushing lightly through the trees. You check the cave. All corners. No one. You check behind the rock shelf where the children hide during storms. You race to the riverside. No footprints in the mud. You kneel. The ground is undisturbed. The grass isn't flattened. The water flows, gently like it always does. Unaware of your panic, you go back to the center of camp. The ashes of the main fire are cold, but no one put it out. Your grandfather always watched it. Always fed it before dawn. He's not there. You touch the fire pit, hoping for a sign. Ashes, charcoal, wood. But it's cold, lifeless. Untouched since last night. Your mind races. Did they leave? Why? Where? You would have heard them. There's only one way out of camp, a narrow path between two large rocks. You run there. Still no footprints. Not even a broken twig. You drop to your knees. Your hands tremble. You shout their names now. All of them. One after another. Your throat hurts. Your voice echoes into the forest and bounces back. But nothing answers. Only silence. Not even birds today. No insects. Just the trees, standing still, watching. The sun rises slowly, painting the forest in pale gold. You expect to see someone walking back into camp. Anyone. But the light only shows what you already know. You're alone. You check the meat hut. The skins are there. The food is still drying. On the racks, no one packed anything. If they left, they took nothing. Your mother would never leave her carving tools. Your brother's necklace is still hanging on the post. No one ran. No one screamed. No blood. No bones. No signs of a struggle. Not even a scent left behind. You walk in circles now, looking for clues, a claw mark, a drag line, anything, but the camp is untouched, not ruined, not looted, just empty. You go to the edge of camp and pick up a stone, not a weapon, just a stone. It helps ground you. You keep it in your hand, you whisper again. Where are you? But you don't expect an answer. Evening comes fast, the wind grows sharp, and suddenly you feel it. Eyes, not human, not animal, but something. Still. Something watching. You spin around, nothing moves, but you know it's there. Behind the silence, inside the stillness, you don't see it, but it sees you. You breathe deep, and you don't call out anymore. You light a fire, alone. The sparks rise slowly. Like questions into the sky, you sit beside it, the same way your grandfather did. And in the flickering flames, you imagine shapes, faces, shadows. They sit around you for a second, then vanish like smoke. Tonight, you do not sleep. You listen to the fire. To the wind, to the quiet, not for footsteps, not anymore. You know no one's coming, because they're gone and only you remain. You didn't sleep that night. The fire stayed alive only because your hands kept feeding it. You sat motionless, listening, thinking, fearing, but nothing moved, no voices, no footsteps, no howls, no growls, just the silence and the faint sound of wind brushing through dead leaves. You waited for morning, and it came. The sun climbed up again like it always does, but it felt wrong, to warm, to bright, to normal, as if the world had forgotten what it took from you. You stood up, slow, your legs sore and trembling, your eyes burned, not from smoke, from remembering too hard. You walked the entire camp again, same paths, same spots, still empty, still quiet. The fur blankets still sat neatly in place, not one was dragged, the tools untouched. The spears still leaned against the wall. It wasn't a raid. It wasn't a stampede. It wasn't a storm. Whatever happened, it didn't happen with force. It happened with silence. You climbed the tallest rock near the camp. From there, you could see everything, the river, the trees, the cliffs, the hunting valley. Still nothing. No smoke in the distance, no movement, not even birds in the sky. Just you, breathing, blinking, watching, waiting. You went looking again, past the trees, over the hill. You followed the paths your people used for generations. You knew them all. You went to the berry patch. It was untouched. You checked the rabbit traps. They were still set. One had a rabbit in it, dead, untouched, cold. Your tribe didn't leave in a hurry. They didn't leave at all. They just stopped being. On the second night, you sat by the fire again, not because it gave warmth, but because it was the only sound left. You talked to it. You asked it why. You told it what your brother liked to eat, what your sister used to hum, what your mother said when she laughed. You waited for the fire to talk back. It didn't, only popped now and then, like a tired old thing. Like it had no answers either. By the third morning, the fear began to change. It wasn't sharp anymore. It became hollow. You weren't just scared of what happened. You were scared of what didn't happen. No struggle, no fight, no mess, no goodbye. They didn't run. They didn't cry. They didn't call your name. You weren't spared. You were forgotten. And that hurt worse than fear. You built new fires each night. You kept speaking to the air. You started carving marks into stone, circles, dots, lines, anything to prove you were still here, still real, still not dreaming. But even your own voice began to sound like an echo. On the fourth day, you saw something. Far out by the cliff edge, a shape, standing, watching. You stood to, called out, no answer. You walked toward it, fast, but by the time you reached the spot, it was gone. No prints, no scent, no shape, only a patch of flattened grass. You looked back. The camp seemed small now, too small for so many lives that once filled it. You whispered, "Was that you?" But the wind took the words before they landed. By the fifth night, you stopped building fires. You sat in darkness, because maybe they would come back if the camp looked untouched. Maybe the light scared them away. Maybe they were watching from the dark. So you let the night swallow you. You began to dream strange things. Your tribe was there, but they had no faces. They stood in a ring around you, silent, not angry, not sad, just watching. And when you reached out, they turned to dust, soft, slow, like dry leaves in autumn. You woke up sweating, shivering, tears wet on your face. By the sixth day, you stopped speaking. Even to yourself, you had said every name 100 times, heard nothing back. There was no sound worth making any more. You started walking, farther now, miles from camp, looking for bones, clothes, carvings, anything, nothing. It's like the earth itself swallowed them up, as if they were made of smoke. By the seventh night, you knew something clearly. They were never coming back, because they were no longer part of this place, and you were no longer part of them. You were something else now, not part of a tribe, Not part of a family, not even part of the land. You were just a witness, the one who stayed behind to remember, to ache, to carry the absence, and that is what you did. You built a stone pile for each name, you stacked them with care, you whispered to each. You said goodbye, even though no one answered, even though no one ever would. You stayed until the last fire pit grew cold, until your own tracks began to vanish in the wind, and then, finally, you walked away, alone, not running, not searching, just walking, because the silence wasn't chasing you anymore. It had become part of you. You don't know if you'll ever find answers, but you know this: you were there. You remembered, and when the world one day forgets again, maybe a shadow or a whisper or a cold wind through trees will carry your story. The last story of a tribe that vanished except for one.